ladies and gentlemen, students and scholars, teachers and trainers, professors and professionals, listeners, learners, dear friends, the Most Honorable President Prime Minister Modi ji, respected ministers and doctors, honorable advocates, advertisers, administrators and advisors, all the personalities from the different fields of science, spirituality, language, literature. Today all of you are listening from science to spirituality, language to literature. It is really nice time, nice place, nice action that we are appreciating our holy culture, the most multi-dimensional, multicultural, multi-sided, multifaceted, multilinguist land of the world, that is India. Words fall short in praise of our holy land. What is happening, what changes we have around it, let us go through. PM announces 16th Asiatic Lion Census. Prime Minister Narendra Modi from New Delhi on World Wildlife Day announced that the 16th cycle of Asiatic lion population estimation will be conducted in 2025, and that the cheetah introduction program will be expanded to Gandhi Sagar Sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh and Bunny grasslands in Gujarat. The announcement came after Modi chaired the 7th meeting of the National Board for Wildlife, where 9 key conservation decisions were taken. Before the meeting, the Prime Minister took a lion safari at Gujarat's Gir National Park, home to the world's last Asiatic lion population, estimated at 600 lions. Conservation efforts have led to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, reclassifying Asiatic lions from endangered to vulnerable in 2024. Modi announced that since Asiatic lions have naturally dispersed into Barda Wildlife Sanctuary, conservation efforts in Barda will receive increased support, including prey augmentation and habitat improvements. The government has also allocated Rs 2,900 crore over the next decade for lion conservation, expanding the cheetah introduction initiative. Modi announced that Gandhi Sagar Sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh and Bunny grasslands in Gujarat will also host cheetahs in addition to existing sites. A new tiger conservation scheme will focus on tiger populations outside designated tiger reserves, while a dedicated gharial conservation project will address the species declining numbers. The first ever urine dolphin estimation report was released during the meeting, counting 6,327 dolphins across 28 rivers in 8 states. Uttar Pradesh recorded the highest numbers, followed by Bihar, West Bengal and Assam. The Prime Minister also laid the foundation stone for the National Referral Centre for Wildlife in Jangad, Junagadh, to address human-wildlife conflicts. A centre of excellence will be established at the Wildlife Institute of India campus in Shakon, Coimbatore. Modi stressed the use of artificial intelligence, geospatial mapping and remote sensing for tackling issues like forest fires and human-animal conflicts. Modi urged documentation of traditional conservation knowledge using AI to benefit other national parks and sanctuaries. He also directed the Wildlife Board and the Environment Ministry to collect regional manufacturers and indigenous knowledge related to forest and wildlife conservation. Shankar to visit UK, Ireland to boost ties. News from New Delhi, External Affairs Minister S. Shankar will embark on a 6-day official visit to the United Kingdom and Ireland from March 4 to 9. India and the UK are engaged in negotiation. India and the UK are engaged in negotiation for a free trade agreement, and Jaishankar's visit is expected to set the tone for future bilateral ties. The two nations share a comprehensive strategic partnership which has expanded across key sectors including defense, security, trade, economy, health, education and people-to-people exchanges. In UK, Jaishankar will hold discussions with his British counterpart, Foreign Secretary David Lammy, and meet several other dignitaries and members of the Indian community. In Ireland, where he will visit from March 6 to 7, Jaishankar will engage with his Irish counterpart Simon Harris. India-Belgium explore defence cooperation in Indo-Pacific. From New Delhi, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh met Princess Astrid of Belgium and Belgium Defence Minister Theo Franken on Monday to discuss potential defence cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region. Following the meeting, the Defence Minister shared on social media platform X, stating we discussed issues related to regional security and the possibility of defense engagements in the Indo-Pacific. We also highlighted deliberation on strengthening defense industrial cooperation between India and Belgium. The Belgian delegation also held talks with External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, focusing on semiconductors, artificial intelligence, clean energy and research and innovation. Jaishankar emphasized the opportunities for Belgian businesses under India's initiatives, stating this visit allows Belgium to assess developments in India and take advantage of Make in India. Design in India, research in India and innovate in India. We are confident that this economic mission will lead to greater cooperation. According to the Ministry of External Affairs, Princess Astrid and her delegation will also visit Uttar Pradesh Maharashtra and Delhi during their stay in India from March 2 to 8. Princess Astrid is the sister of Belgium's King Philippe and is leading an economic delegation aimed at enhancing bilateral ties. She has to address Australian military chiefs from New Delhi. Chief of Defence Staff CDS General Anil Chauhan will embark on a 4-day visit to Australia from March 4 to 7, where he will address senior military commanders on strategic challenges in the Indo-Pacific. The CDS will speak at the prestigious Australian Defence College. He will also chair a roundtable discussion at the Lowy Institute, Australia's premier think tank. Australia is a key partner in the Quad alongside India, Japan and the US. As part of his engagements, the CDS will hold discussions with senior officials from the Australian Department of Defence and military leadership, including Chief of Defence, First Admiral David Johnson, Secretary of Defence Greg Moriarty, and the Chiefs of G3 Services. Senior most surviving member of Punjab cadre of IES passes away from New Delhi. Prem Kaspalia, the senior most surviving member of the Punjab cadre of the IES, passed away here on Sunday. He was 94. His last rites were performed yesterday, and a prayer meeting has been scheduled for 4:30 p.m. on March 6 at Chinmaya Mission. A 1954 batch IES officer Kaspalia leaves behind fond memories, remembering the late officer, former Jammu and Kashmir Governor Anand Vohra said, "I am very sad at his passing away. He was Deputy Commissioner Kangra in the pre-reorganized Punjab. When I got posted under him 64 years ago, the person of few words, unimpeachable integrity, serious inclination and a heart of gold. It was a great experience to work under his charge." Vohra, a 1959 batch IAS officer of the Punjab cadre, said Kaspalia was a learned student of English literature and a prominent tennis and cricket player. May the Lord rest the departed soul in eternal peace and give his dear wife and children the strength to bear this irreparable loss, Vohra said. Paying rich tributes, former Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court Justice retired SS Sodhi said Kaspalia was known for his integrity and work and wisdom. He was a much respected civil servant. We knew each other socially in Chandigarh for years. We both served as members of the Board of Governors for Yadvindra Public School in Patiala, said Justice Sodhi. The last part of Kaspalia's work life was spent in the Ministry of Home Affairs, where he was involved in processes that led to the formation of Meghalaya state and Sikkim's assimilation with India. Kaspalia's son Arun, speaking to the Tribune, described his father's stint as the DC Kangra, the largest district of joint Punjab, as the most memorable. He later served in Patiala as Commissioner first of the Excise and Taxation Department and later of the division in 1970-71. He drafted Punjab excise policy that multiplied the state's revenue manifold, recalled Kaspalia's elder son Kapil. The family also mentioned Kaspalia's voluntary leave after the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi claimed the emergency in 1974. After 19 84, Prem Kashpalia went to Punjab and where he retired as Financial Commissioner Revenue but continued as senior advisor to then Punjab Governor due to, due to President's rule in the state. Left TMC activist clash in Bengal. From Kolkata, leftist student bodies activist and Trinamool Congress Chhatra Parishad engaged in clashes across West Bengal. From news from PTI. Now news from the world of sports. India look to spin a new tail against Australia in ICC Knockouts Champions Trophy. Clash of World Champions. News from Chandigarh. Having cleared the first 100 undefeated world champions, India and Australia will face off in the first semi-final at the Dubai International Stadium on Tuesday, making it the toughest challenge in the team Champions Trophy journey so far. India, who won the T20 World Cup at last year, recorded convincing wins against Bangladesh, Pakistan and New Zealand in their group fixtures. Australia, who are the reigning ODI World Cup champions on the other end, beat England with a record chase before their games against South Africa and Afghanistan were washed out by rain while India played all their games in Dubai. Australia landed in the city only a few days before the semi-final, having played their games across Pakistan. Despite the team's familiarity with the venue, India's keeper Rohit Sharma and coach Gautam Gambhir will have a selection dilemma to resolve. The experiment to replace pacer Harshit Hazana with spinner Varun Chakravarti against New Zealand worked well for the Indian side as the mystery bowler registered a 5-wicket haul on his Champions Trophy debut. Arvind plays out Dravid Prague. Arvind Chidambaram and R. Pragnantha are a full point ahead of nearest challengers after the fifth round. From Prague, Grandmaster R. Pragnantha played out a draw with fellow Indian Aravind Chidambaram as the two stayed a full point ahead of nearest challengers after the fifth round of Prague Masters Chess Tournament here. With 3.5 points in their kitty, Arvind and Pragnantha are now followed by top seed Wi-Fi of China, Anish Giri of Holyland, Quang Lim Li of Vietnam and Vicent Kemmer of Germany, who all have 2.5 points apiece, sharing the sixth spot are the remaining four contestants Jack Yu of David Nevada and New Jane, Tai Daiwan Sam Shankland of United States and Juril Adis of Turkey. There are 4 more rounds remaining in a 10 players round robin tournament. The day provided just one decisive game with YG dashing in on his newfound form to beat Shankland. United crash out of FA Cup from Manchester. Manchester United crashed out of the FA Cup on Sunday after losing on penalties to Fulham. Munish 96 helps Giants thrash UP. From Lucknow, bats Munish smashed an unbeaten 96 as an All-round Gujarat Giants thrust UP Warriors by 81 runs in a one-sided women's Premier League match here on Monday. Now news from the world. Trump targets Zelensky for saying peace very far away as France floats 1 month ceasefire. ATM parent firm flouted RBI of ED on 611 crore rupees notice. India's manufacturing sector brought lift to 14-month low. Trump targets Zelensky for saying peace very far away as France floats 1 month ceasefire. London summit fruitless, Russia says. Influential Russian parliamentarian dismissed a summit of European leaders in London on Sunday, saying it had produced no plan to settle the war in Ukraine. Konstantin Kajuskev, writing on the Telegram messaging app, said on the only thing Ukraine could count on was an improvement in Russian-US ties. He derided the outcome of the London meeting as a desperate attempt to pass off as success the failure of a 10-year policy of inciting Ukraine toward Russia by the same Great Britain. Europe decides on bolstering Ukraine's Europe decides on bolstering Ukrainian defense. News from London. US President Donald Trump criticized Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Monday over comments he made that a deal to end the war with Russia was not near. On his Truth Social platform, Trump posted a story headlined Ukrainians Zelensky says end of war with Russia is very, very far away. This is the worst statement that could have been made by Zelensky, and America will not put up with it for much longer. Trump wrote. The comment followed Trump's public clash in the Oval Office with Zelensky on Friday before what was expected to be the signing of an agreement on Ukraine's rich natural resources. The deal was never signed after Trump and his vice president J.D. Vance assailed the visiting leader as lacking gratitude for US aid and being disrespectful. British Prime Minister Starmer hosted a summit of European leaders in London on Sunday and said European leaders had agreed to draw up a Ukrainian peace plan to present to the United States. At the summit, Starmer announced a four-point plan to work with Ukraine to end the war and bolster the UK's defense against Russia. The plan involves including Ukraine in talks, continuing to supply it with military aid, boosting its defense capabilities and building a coalition of the willing to defend a deal to end the fighting. However, apart from increasing defense spending, further consensus on a peace plan is still being thrashed out by leaders across Europe. UK Defense Secretary John Haley is expected to visit the US later this week to move forward the discussions to secure American backing for an agreed European peace plan. This is all about Trump targets Zelensky for saying peace very far away as France floats 1 month ceasefire. Involve private sector to speed up fighter jet production, panel says from New Delhi. Follow-up proposals in time-bound manner, says Defence Minister. An, em- an empowered committee of the Ministry of Defence has recommended involving the private sector to bolster capacities of defence public sector undertakings to produce more fighter jets quickly. This comes just 3 days after the IAF chief, Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh flagged the need for making 35 to 40 jets every year to tide over the crisis the force is facing or could face with further depletion of the fleet after 2029 to 2030. Defence Secretary Rajesh Kumar Singh presented the report of the Empowered Committee for Capability Enhancement of the IEF to Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today. The minister said the committee had identified key thrust areas and made recommendations for implementation in the short, medium and long term to achieve the desired capability enhancement goals of the IEF in an optimal manner. The report also underscores the need for an impetus to enhance Atmanirbharta in the aerospace domain, with the private sector completing the effort of the DPSUs and the Defence Research and Development Organization, the ministry said. The Defence Minister has directed that the recommendations should be followed up in a time-bound manner. The Minister had tasked the high-powered committee with suggesting a way forward on sluggish production of fighter jets. This included the option of greater participation of the private sector. The committee had recommended that the DRDO, DPSUs and the private sector should work together to achieve the desired goals with enhanced Atmanirbharta. The committee was chaired by the Defence Secretary with the Vice Chief of the IAF, the Secretary Defence Production, the Chair DRDO and the DG Acquisition as its members. The committee looked at how the deliveries of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, which had been assigned the contract to make 83 Tejas Mark 1A jets, were delayed by over a year. One of the reasons for the delay in jet production was the failure of US firm General Electric to supply its F404 engine to power the Tejas jet. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has flagged the matter to US President Donald Trump. The delayed delivery of the engines was taken up during the PM's visit. We remain engaged with the US on all aspects relating to defense articles, including timely deliveries. MEA spokesperson Ranveer Jaiswal had stated on February 21. Robots might be deployed in Telangana tunnel rescue operations from Nagar Kurnool 10 days after the partial collapse of the SLBC project tunnel that left 8 persons trapped. The Telangana government is exploring the option of deploying robots in the rescue operation to prevent any threat to the rescue personnel. Officials said on Monday large quantities of slush and water inside the tunnel posed a challenge to the teams involved in the rescue operation. The 8 engineers and laborers have been trapped in the Sri Salam Left Bank Canal project tunnel since February 22, and experts from the NDRF, Indian Army, Navy and other agencies are making relentless efforts to pull them out to safety. 28 Indians face death penalty in Arab nation. This news from New Delhi. The UAE accounts for the highest number of Indians on death row in Holyland. As many as 29 Indians were facing the death sentence in the UAE. PT Vidhan Singh, Minister of State for External Affairs, had informed the Rajiv Sabha on February 13. The number has come down to 28 after the execution of Shahzadi Khan, a 33-year-old woman from Banda district in UP in Abu Dhabi on February 15. The Ministry of External Affairs informed court in Delhi on Monday. As many as 12 Indians were facing the death sentence in Saudi Arabia, 3 in Kuwait and 1 in Qatar, the minister said, answering a question from Harish Bira of the Indian Union Muslim League. Kirti Vardhan Singh said as per the information available with the ministry, the number of Indian citizens evaded the death sentence by foreign courts was 54. In response to another question from TMC member Saket Gokhale, Kirti Vardhan Singh said the number of Indian prisoners, including under trial in foreign prisoners at present was 10.152. Saudi Arabia 2,633 and the UAE 2,518 and accounted the highest number of Indian prisoners, the minister said. On an Indian origin nurse sentenced to death by the Supreme Court of Yemen on charges of murder, Kirti Vardhan Singh said the center was trying to help Priya's family pay bloom money to the family of the deceased to secure Priya's release. UP woman on death row for killing baby executed in UAE. From New Delhi, a 33-year-old Indian woman who was on death row in the United Arab Emirates for allegedly killing a 4-month-old baby was executed by the authorities. The Ministry of External Affairs informed Delhi High Court on Monday. Shahzadi Khan, hailing from Uttar Pradesh's Banda district, was executed on February 15. The grave news was formally communicated to the Indian Embassy in Abu Dhabi only on February 28, leaving her family in shock and grief. Shahzadi's father, Shabir Khan, had been desperately seeking answers regarding her whereabouts and legal status, unaware that her execution had already taken place. Khan had approached the Delhi High Court requesting urgent information about his daughter's well-being. It was during this legal proceeding that Additional Solicitor General Chetan Sharma revealed the devastating truth that Shahzadi had already been executed under UAE law. With no further legal recourse, left, the court disposed of the plea, calling the entire episode a sad and unfortunate incident. Her creation is scheduled for March 5 in Abu Dhabi. A senior MEA official also confirmed about Shahzadi's execution in the UAE on charges of murder of an infant. The highest court of the UAE, the Court of Cassation, upheld the sentence. The embassy provided all possible legal assistance to MS Shahzadi, including sending mercy petition and pardon request to the government of the UAE, the official said. He said that the UAE authorities intimated to the embassy on February 28, 2025 that the sentence of Shahzadi has been carried out in accordance with local laws, following which the ministry informed her family of the matter. Shahzadi Khan had been working as a caregiver in Abu Dhabi when her employer's infant son passed away on December 7, 2022, shortly after routine vaccination. She was arrested in February 2023 and later awarded the death sentence in July. Since her arrest, Shahzadi has been lodged in A1 Watba Central Jail. A video also surfaced in December 2023 in which Shahzadi could be heard confessing to the crime. However, her father's petition alleged that the confession was obtained through torture and coercion by her employer's family. The plea also pointed out that The child's parents refused the post-mortem examination and signed a waiver to prevent further investigation. Despite these concerns, Shahzadi's appeal was rejected in September 2023 and the UAE court upheld her death sentence on February 28, 2024. The aspirant to save his daughter Shahzadi's father filed a final mercy petition in May 2024, but it was also rejected. On February 14 this year, he received a phone call from Shahzadi hinting that her execution was imminent and this could be her final communication call with family following her daughter's phone call. Shabi reached out to the External Affairs Ministry on February 20 seeking to access information regarding the well-being of his daughter. Tragically, by the time any official response came, his daughter was already executed. Bihar government announces soaps for women in poll-year budgets. News from New Delhi. With the Bihar Assembly election scheduled for November this year, the Nitish Kumar government on Monday tabled a rupees 3.17 lakh crore budget with a major push toward women's empowerment, proposing the setting up a Mahila Haat women's marketplace in Patna. Besides proposing pink toilets in all districts and pink buses in major cities, women form a significant chunk of vote base in Bihar, and with several NDA-ruled states like Maharashtra offering women-centric cash incentive schemes, the announcement seemed clearly aimed at securing women's support for the forthcoming assembly polls. He also proposed the establishment of Kanya Vivaha Mandaps in all panchayats. We will serve the needs of poor rural families with girls of marriageable age. Finance Minister and BJP leader Samrat Chaudhary said while presenting the budget in the Vidhan Sabha, calling it a budget for Viksit Bihar. Chaudhary, who is also the Deputy Chief Minister of the state, took a dig at the opposition RJD Congress coalition, saying Modi's vision of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas or Sabka Prayas and the CM's motto of Nyay ke Saath Vikas have been the twin guiding principles behind the budget. We are making progress, leaving behind the years of anarchy. Speaking about the budgetary allocations for different sectors, Chaudhary said rupees 60,964 crore had been set aside for education, which was of crucial importance in the densely populated state that had a relatively young demography. He said rupees 20,335 crore had been allocated for the health sector, while rupees 17,831 crore will be given to the Home Department, which is responsible for law and order, improvement in which has been the most talked about achievement of the NDA government. Besides, rupees 16,193 would be spent on rural development and rupees 13,493 crore in energy in 2025-26. He added, he also said the government had increased the scholarship amount for students from backward classes and extremely backward through various schemes for rupees 1,000 to rupees 2,000 per month. Maya expels nephew from BSP. From Lucknow, a day after removing her nephew Akash Anand from all key posts, Bahujan Samajwadi Party chief Mayawati on Monday said she had expelled him from the party in the interest and movement of the party. Mayawati said Akash's response to her action against him on Sunday was selfish and arrogant. In a BSP meeting on Sunday, Akash was relieved of all responsibilities as he was under the continuous influences of his father-in-law Ashok Siddharth more than the interest of the party, for which he should respect and show his maturity, he said. But on the contrary, the lengthy response given by Akash is not a sign of his remorse and political maturity, but is mostly selfish, arrogant and non-missionary under the influence of his father-in-law Mayawati posted on X. Therefore, in the interest of self-respect and self-esteem of the movement of Baba Sahib Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, Akash is expelled from the party, Mayawati said. Kong leader deletes post on Rohit's fitness from New Delhi. The Congress found itself on the defensive on Monday after its national spokesperson Sharma Mohammad made controversial remarks about Indian cricket team captain Rohit Sharma's fitness and form. The party swiftly distanced itself from her comments and asked her to delete the post. Mohammed, who received support from TMC leader Sugata Roy, removed the post from X and later claimed that her remarks were generic and questions why freedom of speech was being curtailed in a democracy. The controversy, the controversy erupted during the ICC Champions Trophy match between India and New Zealand when Mohammed posted on X Rohit Sharma is fat for sportsmen. Needs to lose weight, needs to lose weight, and of course the most unimpressive captain India has ever had. The BJP was quick to hit back with Amit Malviya, head of the party's National Information and Technology Department, accusing Congress of body shaming the Indian captain at a crucial time for the national team. The Congress, which has lost over 90 elections under Rahul Gandhi's leadership, is now body shaming our cricket captain while our team is fighting for the champion trophy. This is a premeditated attempt to undermine morals. Their disdain for our icons is apparent, Malviya said. In response, Congress leader Pawan Khera, chairman of the AICC Media and Publicity Department, directed Mohammed to delete the post and issued a clarification. Dr. Sharma Mohammad's remarks about a cricketing legend do not reflect the party's position. She has been asked to remove the post and has been advised to exercise greater caution in the future, Khera stated. Our children quickly after wedding, Stalin says from Nagapattinam, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M. K. Stalin on Monday favored young people having children immediately following marriage and said a higher population appeared to be the criterion to get more MPs. Addressing a wedding, Stalin also, the DMK president, said years ago newlyweds were advised to not have children immediately following marriage. However, the same thing must not be advised now, and also there was no need for that. It is because the situation has now arisen according to which only a higher population would ensure more control and succeeding. And that was the reason for the state's plight today. He added, I will not tell you to not have children hastily. Have children immediately, he said on October 21, 2024. He said the Lok Sabha delimitation exercise may make people to think about raising 16 children. Supreme Court to examine petition against IT rules on social media content from New Delhi. The Supreme Court on Monday asked the center to report to respond to a petition seeking questioning rule 16 of the Information Technology Procedure and Safeguards for blocking for access of information by public rules 2009 that allowed authorities to block social media accounts or content without a notice or an opportunity to be heard. A bench of justices B.R. Gavai and Augustine George Masihi agreed to examine a petition filed by Software Freedom Law Center after senior advocate Indra Dashing submitted on behalf of the petitioner that no notice was given to the originator of the information and the notice was only sent to platforms such as X. The challenge is not that the government does not have the power to take down information, but while taking down the information, notice should be given to the person who has put that information in the public domain, she submitted. There were numerous instances of websites, applications, and social media accounts being blocked without a notice or an opportunity to be heard. The petitioner contended by making optional the issuance of blocking request notice to the originator of the content. Rule 8 vested unguided discretion in the authorities whether or not to issue a notice to the originator. The petition submitted the blocking rules 2009 in their present form effectively allow the respondents to block online content posted by citizens without providing any rationale and without affording any chance for the owner or post to the content to be heard it shared. We prima facie feel that the rule had to be read in the manner where if a person was identifiable, notice had to be given. Justice Gabay said, as Jaising said, the court would be familiar with social media. Justice Gabay said he was not on any social media platform. I'm not on either X, Y, or Z. Justice Gabay said. The 2009 rules also mandated all complaints and requests made for blocking of content were to be kept confidential. The petition pointed out this position of law results in citizens being deprived of their fundamental rights under Article 19A, 1A and 21 of the Constitution and confronted with the metaphorical, inscrutable face of feelings. It said, seeking the top court's intervention, it was crucial to protect the fundamental rights of speech and expression of citizens, which was necessary was for the liberty of individuals as well as the democratic fabric of the society, and the petition contended statehood a priority, government in talks with stakeholders. LG from Jammu Kashmir. Lieutenant General Manoj Sinha on Monday reaffirmed his government's commitment to restoring full statehood to Jammu and Kashmir, stating that the administration is actively engaging with all stakeholders to facilitate this process. Addressing the first budget session of the J&K Assembly in 7 years, Sinha emphasized that the session is not merely a legislative formality but also a reflection of the government's commitment to good governance, transparency, and inclusive development. One of the foremost aspirations of the people of Jammu and Kashmir is the restoration of full statehood. My government remains steadfast in its commitment to addressing this legitimate desire of the citizens of Jammu and Kashmir, Sena said. He further stated, my government recognizes the emotional and political significance of statehood for the people and is actively engaging with all stakeholders to facilitate this process in a manner that ensures peace, stability, and progress. Sinha highlighted the historic significance of this budget as it is the first in 7 years to be presented by an elected government in J&K. It symbolizes the power of the people prepared by their elected representatives, he said. The Lieutenant Governor affirmed that the budget is not just a financial document but also a reflection of the hopes and aspirations of the people for a brighter future, reiterating the government's commitment to peace, prosperity, and fulfilling its promises. Sina said the economy has shown notable growth despite challenges. The government is working to make Jammu and Kashmir a progressive economy. While listing the development initiatives undertaken by the government, the LNG Lieutenant General noted that for the first time during this winter season, the administration and elected representatives took comprehensive measures to minimize disruptions of the daily life. This coordination enabled one of the swiftest restoration of the essential supplies in Kashmir, including efficient snow clearance. Additionally, the power supply remained one of the most reliable with minimal interruption, he said. He added, stressing on the rehabilitation of displaced Kashmir Pandits back into valley. The LNG assured that the government is committed to ensuring a safe and secure environment for the community. Efforts will be intensified and accelerate the construction of the transit accommodation projects for migrant employees, providing them with suitable housing at designated locations. These initiatives reflect our dedication to restoring confidence, fostering inclusiveness, fostering inclusivity, and ensuring a stable and prosperous future for all communities in J&K, he said. She also emphasized the need for a balanced approach to preserving the fragile Himalayan ecosystem while ensuring a safe and enriching spiritual experience for Amarnath Yatra pilgrims in Kashmir. The Lieutenant General also highlighted significant progress in industrial development and investment. The new central sector scheme with an outlay of rupees 20,400 crore offers incentives such as capital investment and interest subvention driving significant industrial growth. Under this scheme, 971 units have already been registered, while 1,150 units are in the process of availing benefits. To further bolster the industrial sector, 889 units are currently under development with 324 expected to come production soon added. Outlining the government's governing model, Sina stated, my government is committed to transparent and accountable decision making, ensuring the efficient allocation of resources every so that every penny spent benefits the people. India, Pak were close to resolve Kashmir issue during Manmohan regime, CM says. From Jammu and Kashmir, J&K Chief Minister Omar Abdullah said today India and Pakistan came closer to resolving the Kashmir issue during the Manmohan Singh-led UPA government and he was not expecting a return to the situation in his lifetime. NC backing BJP's agenda opponents slammed Lieutenant General's address from Srinagar. Court seeks NIA response of Rashid's interim bail plea from New Delhi. The Delhi court on Monday asked the NIA to respond to a plea of jailed Jammu and Kashmir MP engineer Rashid, who had approached it seeking interim bail to attend the upcoming parliament session. Visually impaired candidates eligible for maintain decency. Supreme Court allows Allahabad tourism podcast. Tiny plastics in brain tissues is said to health. Accumulated nanoplastics in brain capillaries can impair blood flow, reducing oxygen supply to neurons, potentially contributing to cognitive dysfunction and neurological damage. Ashish Shekho, former professor Sri Guru Nanak Dev University. For the first time in January 2025, researchers used real-time imaging to track the movement of tiny plastic particles from the bloodstream into the brains of mice. These particles, absorbed by immune cells, accumulated in brain capillaries, leading to neurological abnormalities. Similar plastic particles have already been found in human kidneys, livers, and most alarmingly, brains. though their full impact on human health remains unclear. Toxicologist Matthew Campaign from the University of New Mexico, Albuquerque, estimates that up to 10 grams of plastic could be extracted from a donated human brain. Classified as microplastics and nanoplastics, these plastic specks pose a serious threat to human health, potentially disrupting physiological processes across multiple organ systems. Nanoscale plastics can even cross the blood-brain barrier, raising concern about their neurotoxic effects. Despite limited research, emerging evidence links these particles to neurological disorders, cardiovascular conditions, and mental health issues, raising awareness and accelerating research into mitigation strategies is more urgent than ever. Plastic production, which began less than a century ago, continues to soar, surpassing 400 million tons annually, with only 9% being recycled. These materials, originating from industrial plastic pellets and the breakdown of larger plastic products, take centuries to degrade, shedding trillions of microplastics and nanoplastics in the process. They are now everywhere, detected in remote islands, deep ocean waters, Antarctic, food, drinking water, and even the air we breathe. Microplastics and nanoplastic in the environment pose toxic threats to living organisms, and human exposure to these particles has become inevitable. They have been found in human fishes and vital tissues, including the liver, kidney, placenta, and bloodstream. Their accumulation has been linked to chronic conditions such as respiratory disorders, immune dysfunction, hormonal imbalances, and metabolic disease. Plastic enters the human body through multiple pathways, via seafood and packaged foods to inhalation into the respiratory system, and even directly into the bloodstream through plastic-based medical devices. Once inside, microplastics travel through the bloodstream and accumulated in vital organs, posing serious health risks. Detecting microplastics and understanding their health effects is challenging due to their varied sizes, shapes, and compositions. Many are coated with chemical additives designed to enhance flexibility, flame resistance, or degradation. The severity of their impact depends on the dose and route of exposure in health. Plastics can trigger inflammatory reactions to the lungs, potentially leading to long-term respiratory issues. The smallest particles are of particular concern as they can infiltrate cells with no known mechanism for removal. Laboratory studies show that exposure to microplastics in human tissues samples can lead to cell deaths, immune responses, and tissue damage. Emerging evidence also suggests link to heart disease, kidney disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, and fertility issues. While direct human evidence is still developing, research increasingly connects microplastics to cardiovascular disease. Individuals with plastic particles in their arteries may face a higher risk of heart attacks, strokes, and premature deaths. A 2024 study found that nearly 60% of 250 heart surgery patients had microplastics or nanoplastics in their main arteries. These individuals were 4.5 times more likely to suffer heart attacks, strokes, or death within 3 years of a surgery compared to those without detectable plastic particles in their arteries. Recent research has tackled how plastic particles have traveled through the bodies of mice after they had consumed water containing fluorescent polystyrene particles widely used in food packaging, disposable cutlery, and toys. Within 3 hours, these particles were absorbed by immune cells, and some of these migrated to the brain cortex, where they remained loose for up to 4 weeks. When introduced directly into the bloodstream, plastic particles infiltrated the brain within minutes. Accumulated plastic particles in capillaries can impair blood flow, reducing oxygen supply to neurons, potentially contributing to cognitive dysfunction and neurological damage. Nanosized plastics are particularly concerning because they are small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier, one of the body's most protective shields. Researchers suspect they may contribute to neural degenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's by triggering oxidative stress, inflammation, and protein misfolding in brain cells. Investigation into the neurological effects of microplastic suggests that they break down into nanoplastic inside the body, increasing the likelihood of their accumulation in brain and interfering with the neural neural activity. Microplastics may also indirectly impair brain function by inducing chronic inflammation in peripheral issues. A 2024 study found that brain samples contain 50% more microplastics than those analyzed in 2016, with plastic concentrations in the brain up to 30 times higher than in the liver and kidney. This suggests that despite its protective barriers, the brain may be particularly vulnerable to plastic accumulation. Growing information also links chronic plastic exposure to behavioral changes in animals. If similar effects occur in humans, long-term exposure could have profound consequences for mental health and cognitive longevity. With plastic particles protected in human brains of alarming levels, their potential impact on cognitive health warrants intensive study. Efforts to tackle this crisis suffered a setback as world leaders failed to reach a consensus on a plastic treaty at the December 2024 Busan Summit. Meanwhile, plastic production is expected to double by 2040, further escalating environmental contamination and human exposure. Thus, urgent action is required, including stricter regulations to limit plastic production and waste, greater public awareness of plastic related health risks, drastic reduction in single-use plastics, to investment in sustainable, biodegradable alternatives, and intensive research on microplastics, long-term effects, and mitigation strategies. The presence of plastic in the human brain is no longer a distant concern. We must confront this crisis with top priority to safeguard human health and our planet. Stop cyber scams before they occur with real-time monitoring. When money flows from a victim's account to a suspected mule account, the system should trigger an alert. If the money is further passed through a series of mule accounts, the system could notify the 1930 helpline. This being shared from Shatrujit Kapoor, DGP Haryana, addressing the menace of cybercrime figures high on the police agenda, along with tackling major fox areas such as violent crimes, ensuring women's safety, combating drug trafficking, strengthening law and order, and improving investigation standards. And for good reason. For example, in Haryana alone, 2023 saw over 1,15,000 reported cases of cybercrime, with a total defrauded amount of rupees 602 crore. However, only 12% of the stolen money could be blocked and recovered. The situation was dire as the authorities seemed to be fighting an invisible enemy, one that required more than traditional police methods to combat. The Haryana police bolstered its resources and deployed additional manpower. It convinced banks to step in by stationing their nodal officers at the 1930 helpline for better coordination. The collective efforts began to show results as the recovery rate more than doubled to 27% in 2024. Additionally, 5,156 cyber criminals were arrested in 2024 compared to only 1,909 in 2023 and 1,078 in 2022. This trend continues in 2025 with 571 arrests in January 2025, up from first 138 in January 2024. Notably, nearly 70% of the arrests are from other states. In just 16 months, Haryana catapulted from a dismissal 23rd place in the national ranking to the top. This progress is commendable, but the moot question is whether this is enough to deter cyber fraudsters from continuing their illegal activities in the state. The answer, unfortunately, is no. Worse, the battle is becoming increasingly tougher as taking the recovery rate from 35% to 50% to be will not be as easy as was the initial progress from 10% to 25%. The biggest challenge in the fight against cybercrime is that by the time the victim realizes that he or she has been defrauded and lodges a complaint on the National Helpline 900 1930 or the National Cybercrime Reporting Portal, the stolen money has often already gone out of the banking system, many times transferred even into offshore bank accounts or been cashed out of ATMs within the country or abroad. So, how can the tide be shifted? The solution is the solution lies in a the solution lies in a fundamental shift in how cybercrime is dealt with, from a reactive approach to a proactive one. From a reactive approach to a proactive one, instead of waiting for the victim to lodge a complaint, there is need to build the capacity to detect fraud in real time before the victim even realizes what has happened. Currently, the approach of the law enforcement agencies and banks led by the RBI is complaint centric. The system is set in motion only after the victim lodged a complaint. However, experience has shown that this approach can only lead to limited success in Haryana. With the best possible efforts, a recovery rate of only around 30% could be achieved. It falls short of what is needed to deter cyber criminals, as is evident from the increasing number of fraud complaints. To achieve the required level of deterrence in the country, the blocking and recovery rates must be increased to at least 60 to 70%, either matching numbers of arrests of fraudsters. To attain this goal, it is essential to monitor every transaction in the banking system for telltale signs of fraud. In a typical cybercrime, money is moved from the victim's account to one or more mule accounts, which then shuffle the money through a series of transactions before it is before it is siphoned out of the system. Mule accounts are bank accounts characterized by low balances and pattern of quick in and out transactions. The ability to monitor transactions in real time gives one a distinct advantage. By detecting when funds are transferred into a suspected mule account, the system could immediately trigger an alert. This proactive approach would enable the stopping of the fraud even before the victim realizes that he or she has been targeted. To make this work, a unique ID must be assigned to every transaction that works across banks, allowing one to check the flow of money across the entire banking system. The process of identifying mule accounts is already on. The Reserve Bank of India has recently launched Mule Hunter, a software application to identify mule accounts, and banks are in the process of adopting it. However, this need to be taken to step further. Also needed is the establishment of a list of verified accounts that are not likely to be involved in fraud. They include current accounts of business entities, salary accounts of employees, and savings bank accounts having sizable bank balances or associated fixed deposits. When money flows from a victim's account to a suspected mule account, the system should trigger an alert. If the money or a sizable portion of it is further passed through a series of mule accounts, the system could notify the 1930 helpline to investigate. The investigators could then immediately contact the account holder to find out if she has fallen victim to fraud and take steps to block the funds accordingly. If, on the other hand, the funds end up in a verified account at any stage, the monitoring could stop, saving precious system resources and time. This is the age of artificial intelligence. Therefore, it should not be difficult to design a system for monitoring every banking transaction to detect fraud in real time. The National Payment Corporation of India, a wholly owned subsidiary of the RBI having access to all bank databases, is ideally placed to implement such a system. Once in place, this would be a surefire method of preventing cyber crimes. The best part is that if we succeed in preventing cyber frauds in this manner, other countries and multinational banks would line up to learn from our experience, earning us goodwill and perhaps some foreign exchange too. SEBI under scrutiny. Markets regulator must get its act together. Two contrasting developments concerning the Securities and Exchange Board of India. The nation's capital market regulator took place on Saturday. Former Finance and Revenue Secretary Tuhin Kanta Fande assumed charge as the board's chairperson, even as a special court in Mumbai directed the Anti-Corruption Bureau to register an FIR against his producers Madhavi Puri, Butch, and other officials in a case involving alleged stock market fraud and regulatory violations. The allegations pertain to the fraudulent listing of a company on the stock exchange in 1994 in connivance with the authorities concerned, though Butch served as the SEBI chief 3 decades after the purported fraud, the court said inaction by law enforcement agencies and the market regulator had necessitated judicial intervention under criminal laws. A thorough probe is a must to find out whether she looked into or overlooked any complaint about the old case. Butch Butch found herself in trouble last year as well as when US short seller Hindenburg Research, now disbanded, accused her and her husband of having stakes in offshore entities that were allegedly linked to the Adani money siphoning scandal. The claim caused an uproar at SEBI, then headed by Butch, was itself probing allegations of brazen stock manipulation and accounting fraud by the Adani Group. There was a clamor for his resignation over presumed conflict of interest. But Butch held her ground. Eventually, the dust settled, as it often does in India, was back to business as usual. However, Shabi's credibility took a hit, and so did the confidence of investors. Butch's successor had promised to focus on forties, trust, transparency, teamwork, and technology. The first two are extremely vital for SEBI to regain its standing as a robust market institution. It will become a harder for India to project itself as an investor-friendly nation if the regulator remains mired in one controversy or the other. A new dawn for India-EU relations, convergence of geopolitical interests augurs well for a strong and stable partnership. India-EU ties could become a much valued anchor in a world of shifting geopolitics and unexpected crises. Former Foreign Secretary Sham Sharan. The first ever visit of the European Union Commissioners colleague Union Commissioners College headed by European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen to India took place last week. The Commissioners College is the political leadership of the European Commission and is composed of the President, 5 Executive Vice Presidents, a High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, and 20 Commissioners representing member states, each with a specific portfolio. This is the first time that the college has traveled outside Europe. There are compelling reasons for India and the EU to forge a truly strong and stable partnership. Both are multi-ethnic, multi-religious, multilingual, and multicultural plural democracies, and each has a stake in the success and resilience of the other. They have a convergence of geopolitical interest. India has an abiding preference for a multipolar global order, and so does the EU since it strives to uphold its strategic autonomy. India has always been supportive of a strong and relative independent Europe because this would foster a multipolar world. For Europe, to a strong and independent India should have been worthy of support, but this has been less salient over the years. It was in November 2004 that at the fifth India EU summit at The Hague, India and the EU first established a strategic partnership. I was foreign secretary at that time, and it did not appear then that the state had become aligned in giving a new and positive direction to the relationship based on the perception of a strong strategic convergence. But then India and the EU drifted apart. This was mainly due to China emerging as a significant economic and commercial opportunity for the EU. The negotiations on an ambitious India EU free trade agreement mandated at the summit in 2004 soon ran around as the strategic fox got ballad and technicalities and nitpicking clogged the negotiations process. The differences between the two sides at multilateral fora on trade and climate issues became sharper. India found it easier and more productive to deal with major European countries like the UK, France, and Germany bilaterally rather than engage substantially with the EU bureaucracy. As the EU's relations with Russia deteriorates, especially after the latest occupation of Ukraine in 2014, the EU began to see India-Russia relation in an increasingly negative light. This negativity became more pronounced with the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022 and the reluctance on the part of India to publicly condemn Moscow or to follow the EU in imposing economic sanctions on Russia. It is against this backdrop that it is against the backdrop that the reset in India-EU relations become significant. It is driven by the rapidly changing geopolitical landscape, dramatized most recently by the televised clashes between US President Trump and his Ukrainian counterpart Zelensky at the Oval Office. European countries are scrambling to contain the fallout of what amounts to so Ukraine under the Russian Bush. One should thank Trump for imparting new momentum to India-EU relations and for a change in the European perspective on India. The delegation held meetings with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and virtually his entire cabinet. A joint statement issued at the end of the visit and the press conference at which Prime Minister Modi and the European Commission chief spoke on the importance of the visit and its outcomes reflect the new challenge the partnership has acquired. There has always been a very wide spectrum wide spectrum agenda for cooperation between the two sides, but it will now be pursued with much greater vigor. Most important is their stated commitment to conclude a bilateral FTA by the year end. Another potentially important area of cooperation is the defense and security sector. While the EU has been primarily a political and economic entity, it has more recently assumed a defense and security role, including the promotion of joint production of military equipment, joint acquisition and research and development. A closer defense partnership with the EU would enable India to diversify its military procurement and develops its own capabilities. Ever since President Trump assumed office in Washington, there are growing uncertainties over the U.S. commitment to European defense through the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Trump's reaching out to Russian President Vladimir Putin on setting the Ukraine crisis without involving European leaders. The targeting of U.S. right wing major European nations. All this has been unpredictable advisory other than a trusted ally. The European Commission chief admitted that her visit was taking place at a geopolitical inflection point and that the India-EU partnership has had assumed heightened importance in the context. One may ask why Europe is not turning to China instead, given its much larger economic and commercial relationship with the country. China would be responsive to European moves to forge a closer political and economic partnership, taking advantage of its rift with the US. Indeed, there have been voices in Europe recommending precisely such a move. There are good reasons why India has been given priority. One, there is the recognition that India, despite some disturbing times, is a vibrant, plural democracy with which the EU has a greater degree of political affinity than with China. Two, there is an apprehension which India may share that Trump may well strike a deal with China, which would strike at the very root of a multipolar order. See, Chinese strategic alignment with Russia is deeper, more enduring than may appear at first sight. China has endorsed the Russian view on European security, and this is spelled out in the China-Russia Communique of February 4, 2022, concluded virtually on the eve of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. While India has a legacy relationship with Russia, it is not the nature of a strategic alignment. There may thus be greater comfort in pursuing an India-EU partnership. Wonder lay and marked that her visit was taking place amid a rare and perfect alignment of seven planets, and that India-EU relations were also becoming aligned, presaging a deeper engagement and closer collaboration. One hopes that this time around India-EU ties indeed become stronger and enduring. They could become a much valued, stable anchor in a world of shifting geopolitics and unexpected crises. Kulu's Eco Warriors, grassroots section reshaping tourism. Kulu Valley of Gods is witnessing a grassroots led shift towards sustainable tourism. With Himachal Pradesh reeling from recurrent landslides, cloudburst, and glacial lake burst. The unchecked expansion of tourism infrastructure has worsened environmental degradation and increased disaster vulnerability. In response, Gram Panchayats in the Banjar Valley have taken a bold step, enforcing construction norms under the Panchayati Raj Act to regulate tourism development. This initiative is crucial to curbing the unchecked concretization along the Ethan River and in the Jitli Valley, Jibi Valley, which has polluted water bodies, disturbed biodiversities, and disrupted traditional treatments. Local governance is proving to be a vital force in protecting fragile ecosystems, but these efforts need institutional support and sustained policy commitment. The Himachal Pradesh government's collaboration with the UNDP on climate change development report is a welcome move, but reports alone are not enough. Meaningful change requires concrete policy measures, stricter zoning laws, improved waste management, and early warning systems for glacial lake burst. Additionally, local infrastructure needs cannot be ignored. The lack of road connectivity at Raghupur and Sariolsar Lake limits sustainable tourism efforts, making eco-friendly alternatives such as the proposed aerial ropeway in Kullu a necessity. Despite adverse weather, Himachal recorded 1.6 crore tourist arrivals in 2023, marking a 6% increase from the previous year. While tourism is an economic lifetime, unregulated expansion in ecological sensitive areas like Kullu threatens long-term sustainability. The proactive stance of Banjar's panchayats offer a replicable model for other regions. When local governance takes ownership of environmental protection, sustainable tourism becomes a reality. For Kulu's breathtaking landscapes to endure, grassroots led conservation efforts must be scaled up and institutionalized. The panchayats have shown the way. Now the state must follow suit with decisive action. The last great snowfall, it was the kind of winter that old similarities still talk about. It covered the Christ Church spire in mist and turned the ridge into a wild desert for decades ago. It snowed for days, the kind of heavy, unrelenting snowfall that made the world feel like it would never wake up. I was 12 that year, staying in an old house near Chota Shimla, a colonial relic with a tin roof that rattled in the wind. The snow piled so high outside that the doors would not open. Cruel irony of fate, it was the late John Redmond, a former UK MP, who once bilaterally complained of the cruel irony of fate by which the cup of liberty had again and again been snatched away from the hands of his people at the very moment when they were about to raise it to their lips. 711 local tourists, 7 foreigners evacuated from Spiti Valley. News from Mandi. Mild snowfall in Chamba, Kulu, Kannur alert issued for today. This news from Shimla. Cabinet approves creation filling of 145 posts in civic organizations from Shimla. Center supportive of state government. Chug says from Mandi. Sukhu ends of athletes to Special Olympics in Italy from Shimla says. Now news from Punjab. 70 more arrested in drug cases from Chandigarh. One held for running fake website of mining department from Chandigarh. The Punjab Police State Cybercrime Division on Monday arrested a man for running a fake website of the state mining department to generate counterfeit receipts and forms. He had been operating that website for 3 months. Initial investigation revealed that the suspect, in connivance with a person from Firozpur, had generated over 2,000 fake mining receipts, causing rupees 40 to 50 lakh loss to the exchequer, said DGP Gav Yadav. The illegal activity facilitated the movement of vehicles involved in illegal mining. The suspect, identified as Gaurav Kumar Kharad, had created an exact replica of the original website of the department. The fake website, created in November 2024, remained operational till January 2025. The DGP said the fake receipts also carried bar or QR codes on the line of official website. The website backup, along with the data containing details of fake receipts, images of vehicles, mining material sources, and destination. Besides, the computers used in the offense had been seized. He added, Additional Director General of Police, Cybercrime Division V. Nirza, and the investigation began after a complaint was filed by the Chief Engineer of the Mining Department alleging that the official website had been compromised and a fake website was being used to facilitate illegal mining activities. The fake website was hosted on GoDaddy, a US-based domain provider, she said. She said the police obtained IP address and mobile phone numbers of the accused and conducted raids leading to the arrest of Gaurav Kumar. The other suspects involved in this scam had also been identified and raids were being conducted to arrest him. She added the ADGP said that most of the fake mining farms related to Ludhiana based farm Navyug Akesh has been registered in this regard. Livid CM Man leave stocks midway as farm unions refuse to call off stuff. From Chandigarh, willing to accept just damage, just demand, CM says. You are creating problems for Punjabis whose normal life is hit because of your dharnas. I'm willing to accept your just demands, but you should put off the protest scheduled for March 5. Government transfers 336 IS 7 PCS officers from Chandigarh. Vacant officials. House of Patiala mere a haven for drug addicts. Spread over an acre, a category accommodation is in dilapidated state. From Patiala, the unoccupied official residence for the Patiala mayor has turned into a haven for drug addicts who have stolen its articles with impunity over the past 3 years while the police remained a mute spectator, according to local residents. Classified as a category accommodation, the was situated close to railway crossing number 21 is spread on over an acre and has remained unoccupied since 2022 when former Mayor Sanjeev Sharma Bittu vacated it just before the completion of his term. The local residents said the property had been left to ruin by the authorities, who even did not bother to remove the wild growth there. Instead of allotting the building to any other government servant or politician, the authorities kept it vacant and items worth lakhs are now missing, the resident said. Water pipes, taps, ceiling fans, wooden doors, and even windows were found stolen from the house when the Tribune team visited the property. The part of its boundary wall is damaged. Some days ago, a group of youngsters had trespassed into the house through the opening and lingered there for hours. They were in an inebriated state and left the property with some bags, said Manjinder Singh, a local resident. Except the authorities concerned, everyone knows that the house is a safe hideout for drug addicts and antisocial elements, he added. Another resident said one could easily spot empty injection vials and strips of banned drugs there. Many a time they drink alcohol there and well. Anyone who dares to intervene faces harassment, he said. An official of the Public Works Department said they had written to senior officials and the local administration urging to provide a watchman or security personnel to guard the property. How can we stop the addicts from entering the house? The police said a lien in such an event, said a senior PWD official. Patiala Senior Superintendent of Police Nanak Singh assured that they would register a case on receiving a complaint from official concerned in this regard. Anyone can approach the police over it and we will not spare anyone, he said. House of drug trafficker raised from Bathinda. Now news from Haryana, youth found murdered in Ghadar village, Jajjar. Gong worker strangled with wire of mobile charges by friend, police says from Rohtak. The local police on Monday claimed that Congress worker Himani Narwal, 29, was strangulated to death by her friend by using a wire of cell phone charger at her house in Vijayanagar locality here on February 28. 19-year-old terrorist held from Faridabad from Gurugram. News from Gurugram. Cheating free exams. Panipat Dishi takes charge. Police arrest 7. Dishi, Manoj Kumar and DEO Navin Gulia at an examination center in Kundli. From Panipat, 3 4 fake candidates caught in news anti-cheating crackdown. From Gurugram, Delhi NCR housing market saw 31% price surge in 2024. MBBS exam scam, rechecking process manipulated to ensure students pass. From Rohtak, the MBBS exam scam at Pandit B.D. Sharma University of Health Science Rohtak is not confined merely to reattempt and replacement of answer sheets for annual and supplementary examinations. The racketeers were also allegedly involved in manipulating the paper rechecking process to ensure students passed even when they had not performed adequately in the exams. As per sources, the illegal practice referred to by the perpetrators as the direct system involved taking substantial sums of money from students at a private college for facilitating their success through rechecking of their answer sheets. One of the accused during police interrogation revealed that an employee from Secretary's branch of UHSR played an instrumental role in securing passing marks for students in the rechecking process, resulting as much as rupees 2 lakh per subject. The sources added the malpractices was also brought to light by whistleblower, a concerned MBBS student who filed a written complaint with UHSR authorities in January regarding the scandal. The student's complaint outlined how the illegal practice was systematically carried out. According to the complaint, unsuccessful students were instructed by the racketeers to apply for rechecking if rechecking, often citing doubts about unchecked answers. As a reason for requesting a review, the source is maintained. The source further detailed that once the rechecking request was made, the racketeers allegedly managed to gain access to the original answer sheets from the secrecy branch. As per the complaint, they would then instruct students to reattempt their responses by inserting answers into the blank spaces of the answer sheet, essentially engaging in cheating. Once this was done, the tempered answer sheets were resubmitted for rechecking, and the students who had previously failed were able to secure passing marks. The sources added, moreover, sources revealed that the rocketeers always remained updated about the exam results in advance, often providing students with details of their marks ahead of the official declaration. This practice was strategically employed to build trust and gain the confidence of the students. It helped the rocketeers to lure students, convincing them to seek their illegal services as a means of passing the exam despite poor performance. The source has added, currently the district police are investigating the scam after registering an FIR against 41 persons, including 24 students and 17 USHR employees on the complaint of the USHR security officer in this respect. Crackdown on copying cases, but internal nexus yet to be busted from Hisar. As district officials, including the deputy commissioners and superintendent of police, took to field in an attempt to crack the whip on the use of unfair means and copying in examinations being conducted by the Board of School Examination Haryana Bhiwani. Reports suggest that international malpractice at some exam centers persist in an underhand manner. Sources revealing the modes operandi stated that there is collusion between certain staff members and external agents to assist students by providing help during exams. The system particularly benefits students who have skipped school throughout the year for preparations for other competitive exams, or those students who seem weak in studies. These are often at a significant financial cost, as these facilitators reportedly charge substantial amounts to ensure unfair help to them. Meanwhile, the BSEH has been implementing stringent measures to prevent unfair means in board examinations. The board officials informed that 79 cases of cheating has been reported during the ongoing session of examinations, and 3 exam supervisors have been removed for negligent surprise inspections by flying required, uncovered multiple cases of malpractices in districts such as Kurukshetra, Kathal, Nu, and Firozpur, Jharkhand. In some instances, students were caught using unauthorized materials, while invigilators at certain centers failed to enforce discipline, the BSEH spokesperson informed. In Hisar, a case of impersonation was reported at a government girls' senior secondary school in Kamri village during the class 10 English exam today. Authorities caught a young man appearing in place of a student named Yogesh. Upon verification of the roll number and photograph, the discrepancy was confirmed, leading to a fraud case being registered against both the impersonator and the real candidate. In June, duty magistrates have been appointed and a WhatsApp group has been created by the district administration for immediate reporting and for immediate reporting of malpractice. The number of flying squads has been increased from 9 to 20 and a senior officer has been deployed at the sensitive examination center at Hat Village. Officials and staff are required to submit their mobile phones before exam and CCTV surveillance has been intensified to prevent unfair practices. As per the board data, in the class 10th board exams, cases of unfair means dropped from 1084 in 2023 to 600 in 2024, and class plus 2 cases decreased from 14,077 1427 in 2023 to 505 in 2024. News continue from Haryana. Cops to pay 15 lakh rupees for false case. Court orders probe FIR from Bhiwani in a landmark ruling. Additional session Judge Manish Kumar has ordered the registration of an FIR against five police personnel for falsely implicating our man in a criminal case. The court also directed the state to compensate the victim Hansraj within rupees 15 lakh, an amount to be recovered from the salaries and provident funds of the accused officers. The court's order, issued on February 27, also acquitted Hansraj, a 54-year-old resident of Hanuman Gate, Bhiwani, who had been facing criminal charge since March 2029. Haryana among top five states in GST collection from Chandigarh. The Excise and Taxation Department has achieved significant growth in the collection of goods and services tax (GST). In February 2025, gross GST revenue of rupees 1,83,646 crore was collected in the country, which is 9.1% more than the GST revenue of the same month last year. At the same time, the gross GST collection in Haryana in February 2025 is rupees 9,925 crore, while in February 2024 it was rupees 8,269 crore, an increase of 20%. This is double the national growth average of 10%. Haryana remains among the top five states in the country in GST collection, along with Maharashtra, Karnataka, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu. The government spokesperson said this not only reflects the success of the tax reform policy of the Haryana government, but it also an important step towards ensuring development of the state. Haryana had also shown the highest growth rate and among the big states in Haryana in January 2025. The increase in GST collection reflects economic progress. The Excise and Taxation Department contributes more than 80% of the total revenue of the state under the heads of STG, Excise Duty and VAT. Ex-Minister Satpal Sangwan dies at 83. From Hishar, to stop illegal mining, 532 vehicles checked in Yamuna. To get 5 year jail for transporting cow skins from Gurugram. The courts of additional sessions Judge Sushil Kumar has convicted two accused in a case registered under the Haryana Cow Protection and Cow Conservation Act. Both have been sentenced to 5 years jail each and fined rupees 1.05 lakh. The convicts have been identified as Shahrukh, a resident of Ward 8, Nu and Ekil, resident of Rupdaka village under Hathin police station in Palwal district. The case is of 2018 when cow protectors and Bajrang Dal members raided a warehouse in Nu along with the cow task force and seized a vehicle loaded with about 1100 cow skins. And already during the raid, two youths fled from the spot. The informant identified them as Shahrukh and Akhil. Samples of the recovered hides and ojri were taken and sent to the laboratory. Those were confirmed as bovine Remains was accused were arrested in 2019. The hearing went on for 7 years. On February 28, a court of additional session judge Sushil Kumar held Akhil and Shahrukh guilty. CM holds pre-budget talks with MLAs for inclusive growth. From Chandigarh, continuing its pre-budget consultation initiative, the Haryana government held discussions with ministers, MLAs and administrative secretaries to gather suggestions for the 2025-6 state budget. Chief Minister Navjin Chani, who also serves as Finance Minister, chaired the first session of the two-day consultation in Panchkula. Today, Chani emphasized the government commitment to presenting an inclusive budget that reflects the needs of all stakeholders by integrating these important inputs into the upcoming budget. Efforts will be made to further simplify the lives of the people, he said. He assured that the best suggestions from various sectors would be incorporated to benefit Haryana's 2.80 crore citizens. The Chief Minister assured MLAs that the budget will address both immediate needs and long-term growth objectives. The upcoming budget will incorporate key recommendations ensuring the state's rapid development, he said. The pre-budget consultations meant participation from both ruling party and opposition MLAs, with over 25 legislators contributing suggestions. A notable moment was the Fox Women's representation as an invited from MLAs to speak first with Congress MLA Geeta Bhukkal, initiating the discussion. Ambala polls poor turnout with claims from Ambala low voters turnout in Karnal MC polls raises concern among candidates from Karnal. Now, last but not the least, from the front of the news, you are listening now. Continue your listening. Maintain decency, Supreme Court says, allows Alabadia to resume podcast, extends interim protection to YouTuber from arrest till further orders. Draft guidelines on content center told the top court directed the center to come up with a draft regulatory mechanism on social media content and put it in the public domain to invite suggestions from all stakeholders. News from New Delhi: the Supreme Court on Monday allowed podcaster Ram, Ranveer Alabadia to resume his Ranveer show on YouTube after to undertake not to use profane words, subject to the petitioner Alabadia furnishing an undertaking that ensures will maintain the standards of decency and morality so that viewers of any age group can watch. The petitioner is permitted to resume the show, said a bench of Justice Suryakant and Justice N. Koteshwar Singh. The top court said his request for permission to travel abroad would be considered once he joined the investigation. It also exempted from further appearance. Justice Kanta pointed that one of the accused went to Canada and spoke on the case. These youngsters may think that we are outdated, but we know how to deal with them. Don't take the court lightly, he said, extending the interim protection from arrest granted on February 18. Till further orders, the court said Elabadia's show would not have direct or indirect bearing on the sub judice cases. The top court also directed the center to come up with a draft regulatory mechanism. 487 Haryana primary schools have no teacher, 294 without students. Man walks out of SKM. You are derailing progress in Punjab. Visually impaired candidates eligible for judgeship, said Supreme Court from New Delhi. The Supreme Court on Monday ruled that Visually impaired candidates could not be said to be not suitable for judicial service, citing examples of accomplished blind individuals who have excelled and made significant contribution to the field of law. Visually impaired candidates are eligible to participate in the selection for the post under the judicial service. The bench of Justice J.B. Pardiwala and Justice R. Mahadevan said, striking down Rule 6A of the Madhya Pradesh Judicial Service Recruitment and Condition of Service Rules 1994, which excluded the visually impaired and low vision candidates for appointment in judicial service. Thank you, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, students, scholars, teachers, trainers, professors, professionals, listeners, learners, friends, all my respected, honorable advocates, advertisers, administrators, advisors, the most honorable President President Modi ji. I heartily, cordially welcome all of you. Thank you for listening my words. Thank you. Thanks a lot.